What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about this. What is it, you might ask? Well, let's dive in. So this is an Insta360 X3 360 degree camera. This, not this. This is a tripod and selfie stick that I purchased separately that is completely compatible and made by the same brand. There's actually multiple accessories, but I'm planning on making another video in the future to cover all of those. For now, let's talk about the camera itself. This could quite possibly be my new favorite toy, tool, and camera. The camera films in 360 degrees, omnidirectional, if you will. It has a lens on each side. So even though there's not a lens on the side of the camera, it stitches all that together. So literally every direction you can think of, the camera can record. This Insta360 X3 is an upgrade and updated version of the iconic X2, and of course comes with its own features. The camera films in 5.7K at 360 degrees with active HDR. HDR is high dynamic range. It has an upgraded half-inch sensor and it can shoot photos in 72 megapixels. It has a 4K single lens mode and is waterproof up to 33 feet. It also has horizon lock as well as image stabilization. This camera can shoot 8K time lapses and has a 2.29-inch touchscreen LCD. That's of course not all the specs of this camera. That's just some that I at least know what it means or that I find interesting, kind of the highlights of this camera. Let's talk about the camera itself. It's very small and compact, but yet has some weight to it and feels to be built of high quality. Since it is so small and compact, it's very slim and fits inside your pocket, in a bag, in your vehicle, whatever. In fact, I do just that. I take it with me everywhere. Now that it is my new favorite toy, I always have it with me because it takes up no space, it's easy to carry around, it's not heavy, and you never know when you might want to get a cool picture or video. When you take this camera out of the box, it comes with this neoprene case. It's just a little sleeve that the camera slides into, which is super helpful and very important if you're using this camera because it protects those glass lenses on each side. The camera also comes with a USB-C charging cable that can be used with this camera, as well as a microfiber cloth, user manuals, and a pretty fancy box. Looking at the camera itself, we'll start on one side and work our way around. On the first edge here, each of these doors and battery compartments have a little pinch mechanism that unlocks the door. The first one has a USB-C charging port. Again, that cable does come with it. You can charge the battery directly in the camera without ever removing the battery. Locking that shut, the next one down, you pinch these two together and that actually removes the battery. While it's not necessarily needed, you could purchase multiple batteries if you wish to have more power without waiting on the time to recharge the camera. Also, by removing the battery, you expose the micro SD card slot, which is just inside the battery compartment. On the bottom of the camera, there's not much to talk about. It's just a 1/4-20 thread, female thread that you can put to on your selfie stick, tripod, wherever you'd like to mount the camera. Over on the other edge is the built-in microphone, the power button, and a quick menu button. So when the camera's turned on, you could hit that and it'll take you straight to the menu. On the main face of the camera is just the printed Insta360 X3 logo, as well as one of the lenses. And on the other face is the touchscreen LCD, one of the lenses, and two buttons at the bottom. The first bottom left button is a quick record button. What that means is that even right now with the camera turned off, I could hit that and it would automatically turn the camera on, begin recording. The bottom right button allows you to view your media that you have currently taken. So if you wanted to see your photos, your media library, your photos, your videos, whatever. Now let's turn the camera on and see what we're playing with. So the camera, like I mentioned, is touchscreen, and you can swipe from the left or the right to go through your different modes and settings. In the 360 mode, you have active HDR, time lapse, time shift, bullet time, loop recording, star lapse, burst, interval, and back to HDR. You also have single lens modes, which include video, me mode, loop recording, and photo. Swiping the screen from the right will give you all of your video and camera options and settings. You have the auto mode and you can scroll through the different choices as well as the manual mode. I'm not a master videographer or photographer, so I don't know much about this, but I am trying to learn because there's a ton of features and different shots you can get with different settings of the camera. One of the other cool things about this camera is that since it records in in every direction, you can actually use this one camera for multiple cameras or give the effect of multiple cameras when you do your post-processing, your video editing. What I mean by that is instead of having a camera facing this way, another one facing that way, another one facing this way, another one behind me, that would take 4 cameras. In the case of this, since it records in 360 degrees, I can film on this camera, and then when I edit the video, I can do jump cuts to each of the shots. It's pretty cool, and you don't have to buy multiple cameras. Another cool feature, speaking of editing, is that when you edit, you can edit in any format, any ratio, any size that you like, and you're never gonna lose crop or lose part of the frame. What I mean is that right now I'm filming in 16:9, the standard rectangle shaped video for the sake of YouTube. But for example, if you wanted to record verticals for TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts, you could do that. Or if you wanted to record 1:1 ratio, that's a square for Instagram, you can do all of that in the editing without having to worry about getting anything in your frame or in your crop. Because again, it records in 360 degrees. So I could take a 16:9 video and flip it to make it vertical, shorten it up to make it a vertical video, and you're not gonna lose any of the frame or of the shot because again, there's nothing to lose. It records in every direction. This camera also has the invisible selfie stick feature, and what that means is that if I put this on the selfie stick and I extend it out, it will actually eliminate this selfie stick from my video or from my photo. The sensors in the camera recognize that, and it puts a blind spot right here. So if you hold this out, the only thing you will see is my hand and my body. It will not see the stick itself. Again, I purchased this selfie stick separately, and there's a ton of other accessories that I have with this camera and that I actually recommend with this camera, but I'm not gonna cover those in this video. I plan on making another video in the future that covers accessories for the Insta360 camera. One cool thing I find myself doing quite a bit with this camera is taking tiny planet photos and inverted planet photos. And what that means is that when you take the picture, since it records in every direction and you zoom all the way out, it literally looks like a tiny planet. As you can see some of these pictures on the screen now, I've taken photos of multiple different tiny planets. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool. The last thing I'll talk about here is that I'm not sponsored by Insta360. They don't even know who I am, but I just want to talk about this camera because it is such a cool thing to have and mainly just give you the information about this camera in case you decide to purchase one. I'm not going to sell you one. I don't care if you buy it or not, but it's just something to keep in mind. The camera at the time that I purchased it was around $500. While that's not a small sum of money, I look at it as you don't have to buy 4 action cameras like I mentioned. You don't have to get 4 different shots or 4 different cameras for that. You also don't have to purchase a high definition camera. This is high definition. This records in 5.7K in 360. Now, of course, you lose a little bit of that when you crop in and zoom in, but it's just something to have, and it has so much versatility, so many different options for recording with the size of the video and photos, the tiny planet, inverted planet features. It's just something worth considering. Again, I don't care if you purchase this camera or not. I'm not a salesman and I'm not sponsored, but if you would like to consider purchasing one, I'll leave a link down below. Hope you enjoyed that video. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment on your thoughts on this if you own one, if you have other 360 cameras or even other action cameras. I enjoy cameras and technology, so be happy to talk about it with you. Hope you enjoyed that video. See you next time.